Today, I'm going to show you how to draw a window in AutoCAD. In this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to draw a casement window, a sliding window, and a top hang window. And then I'm also going to show you how to place them in a floor plan. Now let's confirm that our window layer is active, and then drop down and type rectangle, enter, click in workspace and type 1200 millimeters by 1300 millimeters, and then let's offset our line by 20 millimeters and click. Now let's offset the line we've created by 30 millimeters. Click in that line and drag our mouse and it will be offset. Now at the top, click on line and click in the midpoint of that line and also in the midpoint of this other line. Now let's offset the line we have created by 15 millimeters on both sides. Type 15 millimeters, offset it on this side and offset it on this other side. Now let's trim these lines. At the top, click on trim and let's select the lines we want to trim, enter, and then trim that line, that one, and then at the bottom let's trim these lines, this line, that one, that, and that. After we are done with that, we're going to create lines to show the direction that the windows open to. Click on line and then enter this setting and select this color. Click on that point and draw your line all the way to this other midpoint and then on this point and enter. Now we are going to mirror a copy of these lines. Let's mirror a copy and click no. Now let's draw a line. Click on line, select by layer and select by layer. Draw a line of 120 millimeters. Enter. Now let's offset this line. Click on offset and then let's offset it by 30 millimeters. And now let's change the length of this line and then enter. Select that line and then let's mirror a copy of that line. Select no. Now let's change the length of this line. Select all these lines and then move them at this middle point. And now let's mirror a copy of the lines. Click on mirror, click in this point and mirror them to the other end. Now let's draw a cross section of this line. Type rectangle, click in workspace, type 1200 millimeters by 200 millimeters. Click in that rectangle and move it all the way to here. Now let's offset. Now let's explode our rectangle. Select all of it and enter. Now we are going to offset our line by 20 millimeters. That line and this line. Now let's offset the lines we have created by 30 millimeters. That point and this line. And now let's draw a line at the midpoint here and this other end. Then let's draw another line in the midpoint of this line and this other line. And now let's offset that line by 15 millimeters and the other end by 15 millimeters. Drag that line all the way to the other end and this other line to the other end. And then let's offset that line by 25 millimeters. Enter. Now we are going to begin trimming our rectangle and the lines we've created. Click on trim, select all lines, enter. And then let's begin by trimming this line and this line. And then on the other end, trim this line and that line and that. At the middle, we are going to trim this line, that line, and then let's delete this line. Let's change the thickness of these two lines. Click on them. At the top, select 0.3 millimeters. And your line thickness will change. Now let's create a block for this window. At the top, click on this part, create block, type in window 1, select pick point and pick this point, and then select object and select all of this, enter and click OK. Now let's create a block for this. Click on that point, type window 1 cross section, click on pick point and pick this point, select object and select all these objects and then click OK. Now let's draw the second type of window. Type rectangle, enter, click in workspace and type 1200 millimeters by 1300 millimeters. Now let's offset our line, but first let's move it to there. At the top, click on offset and type 20 millimeters. Offset that line. Now let's offset the line you have created by 30 millimeters. Click on line and offset it by 30. Click on that line, click in the midpoint and this other midpoint, and let's offset that line by 15 millimeters on both sides. Type in 15 millimeters and 15 millimeters. Now let's trim these lines. Select trim, enter, selecting these lines, trim that line, that line, that line, and that line, that too. At the bottom, trim these lines. Click on this line and delete. Now we're going to draw a line to show the direction the windows will open to. Click on line, draw a line here. .45 millimeters, 45. Select that color and let's begin drawing a line here of 120 millimeters. And let's offset this line. Click on offset. By 30 millimeters. Now let's change the length of that line. And then mirror a copy of the line. Let's change the length of that. Select this line. And then let's mirror a copy to the other side. Now let's draw a cross section of this type of window. Type rectangle. Enter. Click in workspace and draw your rectangle of 1200 millimeters by 200 millimeters. Click on that rectangle and move. Now let's explode this rectangle by first moving. Let's move it there. At the top, click on explode. Select all the rectangle, enter. Now we are going to offset some lines in that rectangle by 20 millimeters, this line and this other line. Now let's offset those lines we've created by 30 millimeters. Now let's draw a line in the center of our rectangle from that point to this point. Let's draw another line in the middle from that point to that point. Let's offset this line by 15 millimeters on both sides. Delete that line. Click on trim, select all lines. Let's begin trimming on this side. Trim that line. Trim that line. Click on trim and trim that. Now let's offset this line by 25 millimeters. Drag it to that point and drag it to this point. Now let's trim these lines. Select that line, that and that, and then trim that part. We're going to mirror a copy of that to the other side and then delete this original copy. Now let's change the thickness of these two lines. Select 0.3 and enter. Now let's drag it to the other part. Selector and then move it to this part. And then let's draw the other type of window. At the bottom, type rectangle. And then type 600 by 600 millimeters. Move it to that point. And then let's offset our line by 20 millimeters. Let's offset that line you have created by 30 millimeters. Let's draw a line. Select that and that. Click in those points. Enter. Let's drag a copy of these three lines. Place them there. Now let's draw a cross section of that type of window. Type rectangle. Enter. Click in workspace. As first, let's change to that. type rectangle, enter, type in 600 millimeters by 200 millimeters, move it to this point. Let's explode our rectangle, select all objects and enter. Then let's offset these lines by 20 millimeters and by 30 millimeters. Type 30 millimeters, offset it. Now let's draw a line in the middle and change the thickness to 0.3. Move it to this point and move this to this other point. We are going to create blocks for the two window types we have created. Let's begin with this one. At the top, click on this part and then type window 2. Click in this pick point and pick this point and then select objects and select all these objects, enter and click OK. Now let's create a block for this. At the top, click on that part and type window 2 cross section and click on pick point and pick this point. Select objects, select all of this and then click OK. Now let's create a block for this. Click in this part, type window 3 and then click on pick point and then type window 3, click on pick point and then pick this point, select objects, select all of this, enter and click OK. Now let's create a block of this. At the top, click on that part and then type window 3 cross section, click on pick point and pick this point and then select objects and select all of this and click OK. Now we are going to place our windows in floor plan. Let's place this window, select all, copy and drag a copy all the way to this point. Click on that, click on the window and move it to this point, and now let's place another copy, and then drag a copy and place it here. Let's place another window here and on that other part. Select all of this, drag a copy and place it there. Let's mirror this copy and click on this and delete. Now let's drag this copy and place it in our floor plan. And let's place another window there, copy and drag a copy and place it here. Place it there. Now let's drag it and move it to this position. Now let's insert another one there. Select this window, make a copy and drag and move it here. Now let's rotate this. Let's rotate, enter. And then let's move it and place it in our floor plan. Pick that point and place it here. Now let's drag a copy. Let's move it, place it there. Then let's copy and drag and move another copy and place it here. Now let's place another window at that point. Select this, copy, and then let's move and place it here. Move and place it there. Then move it to that point. And let's place windows to the other remaining walls. Let's drag a copy of this and place it on this other end. Let's rotate this window, move it, and move it to there. Let's copy and move a copy of it and place it here. And let's move a copy. No, not a copy. Let's move this copy and place it here. And that's how you place windows in a floor plan.